The sun blazed mercilessly that Saturday afternoon as Blessing walked confidently in her expensive white lace dress. The lace, crafted in a slum in Egovia, was a masterpiece of the renowned Mama Clara boutique. Despite her humble zinc sheet shop, Mama Clara's designs had reached far-off lands, from other African countries to Dubai. Blessing adjusted her dress as she approached Jacinta's home. Friendship rekindled wasn't about nostalgia, it was about status. Who wouldn't want to be seen with the honorable member's wife? When Blessing arrived at Jacinta's new residence, the first thing she noticed was the armed Mopole guards at the gate. A wave of realization hit her. Jacinta was now firmly entrenched in the elite class, that she was now a government person and was completely on another level, a lot higher than her being the first lady of the health center. Jacinta had, of course, resigned from her job as a nurse. Because her husband had become a member of the State House of Assembly, her friend had moved into a new world. The world of bloated affluence of wealth, most it ill-gotten. Big mansions built with public money, jeeps, and first-class flight ticket when she traveled. Anything money could buy, no matter how grotesque it may appear. The pursuit of status symbols. It was what was wrong with the country they lived in. But Blessing loved it. It was everything she wanted. Walking past the gates, she was ushered into a gleaming living room. The opulent mansion dwarfed Seb's modest 3-bedroom house. Beautiful furniture filled the space, the air-conditioned coolness a stark contrast to the heat outside. She was served pink champagne by Sisha, the young and smart house girl who couldn't resist small talk. Madam Talk, say make I no bring orange juice, come give visitors again unless they be children, Sisha explained. Blessing laughed, teasing her about assumptions of religion. But her mind was elsewhere, soaking in the affluence around her. As Blessing sipped her champagne, her eyes followed Jacinta, who moved with the regal air of a queen, issuing orders to her staff. The effortless authority Jacinta wielded was a stark reminder of the chasm between their lives now. Blessing couldn't help but compare the mansion's grandeur to her own modest home, where Gideon, her only house help, had been let go. Small Jacinta, once a nurse at the health center who used to look up to Blessing, had risen overnight. She had risen from insignificance to a high class just because Chris became an honorable member the other day. It could have been more if he had become a minister. The perceived injustice gnawed at her, but it was hard to dwell on jealousy when surrounded by luxury. As Blessing reclined on the plush sofa, savoring the aroma of fried chicken and the fizz of pink champagne, she couldn't shake the conflicting emotions. Resentment simmered beneath the surface, a bitterness rooted in the sudden rise of her once peer Jacinta. But despite the sting of jealousy, Blessing indulged in the privileges of Jacinta's new life. She laughed at the Nollywood movie playing on the massive TV, knowing that her envy wouldn't stop her from enjoying every moment of this newfound friendship. Jacinta regarded Blessing with a quiet condescension. Blessing, once a peer, was now part of the underprivileged group she could flaunt her wealth to. Jacinta derived immense pleasure from showcasing her newfound affluence in front of her old acquaintances. The greater the assault on their eyes, the greater the satisfaction she had. Despite the obvious disparity, Jacinta welcomed Blessing with open arms. For Jacinta, it was not just about the display of wealth. It was about affirming her new status. For Blessing, the visit was a calculated move. She saw an opportunity, a pathway to wealth and influence by aligning with Jacinta and Chris. Blessing had shared the details of Jacinta's opulent lifestyle with Seb. But unlike her, Seb had no admiration for Chris or the politics that brought such wealth. When she mentioned the inauguration and the women fawning over politicians, Seb raged. His disdain for the system was evident, but it didn't deter Blessing. She listened, nodded, and inwardly plotted. For Blessing, respect and gratitude toward Jacinta were tools, part of a larger strategy. It was too good an opportunity to be missed, hanging out with the rich and powerful. She felt just lucky to know people like Chris and Jacinta. She knew how people aggressively tried to make their acquaintance, and those who succeeded sniffed around them like police dogs looking for contraband, hoping for a lucrative deal, a big post, or a contract, even if they were not completely kosher. Blessing was determined to seize the opportunities presented by this new connection. Blessing's eyes gleamed with determination as she thought of the endless possibilities that lay ahead. She had always been astute, knowing what she wanted and how to get it. She remembered her nursing school days, where she had learned to navigate tricky waters with tact and ambition. Now, as Jacinta descended the grand marble staircase, with her hair perfectly styled, Blessing downed the last of her champagne. Jacinta's hairdresser had come to the house that morning, a luxury that underscored the gap between their worlds. But Blessing didn't feel out of place. Instead, she felt inspired. Jacinta and Blessing stepped into the waiting Jeep, its polished surface gleaming under the afternoon sun. As the chauffeur held the door open, Blessing felt a surge of excitement. This was the world she wanted to be a part of, a world of wealth, power, and influence. She adjusted her dress as she settled into the plush leather seats. Jacinta, ever composed, gave Blessing a knowing smile as the Jeep pulled away. For both women, the ride to the Agovia Club symbolized more than just a social outing. It was a journey into a realm of boundless opportunities.